I am Raul, a dual sensei, the founder of Overseas Filipino Aikido Club, Shusekai Aikido. OFAC Shusekai Aikido is a certified branch studio of Shuseikan Aikido Federation. It is a name given by Kokusai Shusokan Aikido Rengi to Genesis Aikido Club, founded by Sensei Raul. Shuseikan means place of sincere hostel training, and OFAC offers art instruction in Aikido a traditional way under the direction of myself. So, in October 1997, I was started to begin practicing in Aikido. So it's almost how many years now? This year, 2016. So, mahaba ng experience. So in Aikido, as you get older, your muscles will be weakened and you no longer lift or pull. In the end, there is a limit to physical strength, no matter how you build it. So that's why O-sensei says that unlimited strength comes from the breath power. In effect, it is based on natural principles. If the other person comes powerful against you and you respond by simply taking his power into yourself, there is no need for any effort. Aikido is a Japanese martial arts developed by Morihei Yoshiba Sensei, often referred to by his title O-sensei or big teacher. On purely physical level, it is an art of involving some throws and joint lock that are derived from Jiu-Jitsu, and some throws and other techniques derived from Kenjutsu. Aikido focuses not only punching or kicking opponents, but rather on using their own energy to gain control of them or to throw them away from you. It is not a static art, but places great emphasis on motion and dynamic of movement. Upon closer examination, practitioners will find from Aikido what they are looking for, whether it is applicable self-defense technique, spiritual enlightenment, physical health, or peace of mind. O-sensei emphasizes the moral and spiritual aspect of this art, placing great weight on the development of harmony and peace. The way of harmony of the spirit is the way what that Aikido may be translated into English. This is still true of Aikido today. Although different styles emphasize the more spiritual aspect to greater or lesser degree. Although the idea of martial discipline, strive for peace and harmony, may seem paradoxical, it is the most basic tenet of the art. We would attempt to pigeonhole Aikido into synopsis of X number of words, but that would not be injustice. So we leave the practitioners of Aikido to find out Aikido is for themselves without any preconceived notion. So in Aikido, we have the principles of Aikido. So in any book, it is not covered all the principles of Aikido or even give great details of what is mentioned. So I just mentioned some of those. The first is the power of the center line, which is the main basic principles. Maintaining the straight center line in the body is one of the basic principles of Aikido. If you are able to maintain a strong center, whatever direction we move, we have focus power. By forging this focus power, we are also promoting strong posture, concentration, and breath power. So, the next is the focus power. This is the power that developed by unifying the whole body. If the whole body is integrated as it moves, each power will breath power of the focus center line concentrated into one point. To put in another way, focus power is the power of the center line as it is extreme. It is important not to depend on the strength of upper body. If you do use the strength, the flow of energy will be stopped and you will not be able to transmit focus power. Therefore, in developing concentrated power, it is important to ensure that your body is in relaxed mode. So the next principle is the breath power. Breath power is what is developed at the point where your own focus power comes into contact with the other person. Here, the master of the spirit and the rhythm are of basic importance. The matter of spirit is how to become empty. You should lose your feeling of, I will try to do this, I will try to do that, and instead, simply be in sincere state of mind, or a serene state of mind. You will then be able to read the other person's movement and understand the flow of energy. You will then naturally feel where your own line of attack will be. Rhythm is the result of your own breathing by breathing out when you should breathe out and breathing in when you should breathe in. Then the rhythm is created. The next is the entering, or in Japanese term is the irimi or omote. In entering, instead of clashing with Uki's power straight on, you move off that line and move into the side of his body to the safe angle. By using entering, you can move your body to a safe position and at the same time utilize your partner's power in order to apply a technique. The next principle is the turning, or tingkan or urak. In Aikido, there are not really any straight line movement. The basic of circular movement which allow us to redirect the other person's power without clashing with it. A circular movement is one that enable to us redirect the direction of power without interrupting the flow of energy. And the next principle is the striking or atemi. Okay. The founder Yeshiva Sensei said, in real battle, atemi is 70%, technique is 30%. Okay. The training that we do in dojo is designed to teach us various sort of techniques. The correct way to move our body, effective ways of using our power, and how to create a relationship with other person. In real battle, we must use the power that we have developed in our bodies in the dojo and use it explosively in an instant. We must decide the outcome of the fight at the moment. In that situation, atemi is very important. The 7 virtues of Aikido to be followed until you reach the goal to become a black belt. So I will not explain it. It's in these 7 virtues. I have only to mention it. The first is the courtesy, the honor, the benevolence, the wisdom, sincerity, loyalty, and pity. These 7 virtues is on the kama that you are wearing when you get your black belt, which is the 7 pleats. So we have also the rules for training in Aikido. So in Aikido, besides life and death in a single strike, so a student must carefully follow the instructor's teaching and not compete to see who is the strongest. Meaning the proper way Aikido can never be mastered unless one strictly follows the instructor's teaching. So be in mind all of these rules in training. Aikido is the way that teaches how one can deal with several enemies. Students must train themselves to be alert, not just to the front, but all sides and back. So in Aikido, as a martial art, is perfect by being alert to everything going on around us and leaving no vulnerable opening. The training should always be conducted in a pleasant and joyful atmosphere. So when you practice, becomes joyful and pleasant once one was trained enough not to bother by pain. The instructor teaches only one small aspect of the art. Its versatile application must be discovered by each student through incessant practice and training. So do not satisfy by what is taught at the dojo. One must constantly digest, experiment, and develop what one has learned. In daily practice, first begin with moving your body and then progress to more than intensive practice. Never force anything unnaturally or unreasonably. If this rule is followed, then even elderly people will not hurt themselves and they can train in a pleasant and joyful atmosphere. So one should never force things unnaturally and unreasonably in practice. One should undertake training suited to his body, physical condition, and age. So the purpose of Aikido is to train mind and body and to produce sincere, earnest people. Since all the techniques are to be transmitted person to person, do not randomly reveal them to others, for this might lead their being used by hoodlums. The aim of Aikido is to develop the truly human self. It should not be used to display ego. So, in practicing Aikido, actually the first thing you have to learn is the okimi. The okimi is to stay safe. That is not only avoid injury in the confrontation, but to be aware of what is going on throughout the whole confrontation, and therefore to be able to find and respond the opening and perhaps to escape. The next one is to experience the throw. Part of the learning process must be understand what the other side of the encounter is. What does it feel like to be tied up in a particular technique? Also to be observed the other person techniques, particularly if Nagi is a senior student or teachers. Being able to take okimi means allowing the detachment necessary to observe. The third one is to learn to listen with your body. To throw well requires sensitivity in your partner. Often we are so caught up in the active role of Nagi that we forget to be receptive to our partners and move in a way that harmonizes with Uki. By being Uki, we get a chance to emphasize the receptive aspect of body movement. Fourth one is to assist your partner to learn. Being a good uke means maintaining the connection with Nagi and allowing Nagi to experience that connection and to really experience the technique. Being a good uke allows Nagi to perform the techniques without worrying about uke being injured. The last one is to condition the body. Taking good ukemi requires a lot of work. Much emphasis is placed on staying connected, staying flexible, and staying aware. So in our dojo, our OFAC dojo, we have a forms of training. It is enjoyable to work with a partner you know and who understand you. He or she can be cooperative or even helpful to your particular problem in a given stage of training. It is therefore natural to seek partners at your own level. However, the progress is to be made in training, particularly in the development of solid physical base and dynamic, flexible movement. An ideal practice should include many different elements. So first, you should practice with the partners who are training at a more advanced level. In this training, keep an open mind to the individual characteristic of your partner, which vary from person to person. Train your eyes to the diverse expression of the art and the reason behind them. Cultivate your power of observation, practice and apply your technique with maximum effort so that you can come to know your limitation and can learn to extend them. If you do not know where your limitations are, you cannot work with them. Learn ukemi that is applicable to the different style of execution. So second practice with partners who are training on or about your own level. Apply what you have learned and reconfirm the learning process. Try to use your own problems and weakness at the stage as they might be reflected in your partner. Observe closely when others talk about your stage, overcome a particular problem, and work to discover how it was overcome. This process of overcoming problem refers not only to a problem with technique, but especially to break through a higher dimension of physical awareness. The third one is a practice with partners who are training at a lower level than you. Confirm your understanding of basic techniques and apply them with the minimum effort. Learn to control yourself and yet make the technique effective. Practice especially with beginners who have no perception of movement so that you may study the workability and precision of the movement. In all three of the basic training guidelines above, maintain an attitude of flexibility. Train with members who are larger than you in size, height, weight, etc. With those who are about the same size as you and those who are smaller than you. Above all, take the opportunity to bring yourself back to beginner's mind. So, I hope all the AIKIDOkas must follow the rules of AIKIDO and enjoy the practice. Thank you very much to everyone.